Hello lovers, welcome to the Butterfly Effect podcast hosted by myself, Lauren Amy. This is for those who are ready to take up space, who are living a soft life loudly and are ready to savor the sweetness in each moment. Here we're going to embrace transformation, the beauty of the in-between and the magic of becoming. So pull up a seat and listen in because life is delicious and it's about goddamn time we eat it up. Hello, stunners. Happy Wellness Wednesday. Welcome back to the Butterfly Effect podcast. How are we all feeling? It is the second week of January. Where are we at? Are we feeling somewhat tired? Somewhat sluggish? Usually happens around this time, but whatever it is you're feeling, maybe you're feeling the entire opposite, but whatever it is you're feeling, we are, of course, continuing to start the year soft, not strong. And rumor has it, honeys, I have a gorgeous episode lined up for you this week. I'm welcoming in the lovely Roselle, founder of the Morning Motivation Club, of which I'm now a proud member. And let me tell you, honeys, I'm hooked. I love it. This conversation with Roselle, we recorded it before Christmas, just a little FYI there. And already I've begun to action things that we discuss in this episode. And I love it, okay? Roselle is going to give us some tips and tricks on how we can slowly become a morning person. We talk about adjusting according to the seasons, how routines can slightly shift, okay? And how we can establish healthy habits when you're in a relationship versus being single, and how ultimately when you show up in your mornings in this mindful, present, grounded way, ultimately you give yourself the gift of time, which is something I have really experienced in my early days as a member of the Morning Motivation Club. So I hope you love this chat. It's just a really wholesome conversation. It's just two girlies talking about their mornings and how we can establish these healthy habits, okay? I know that's what we typically hear in all this New Year noise about how we can, become a better person and be the best version of ourselves, right? But in this, we just take one thing, we just take our mornings and how we can shape these into a little rituals, little routines, and letting that ripple out into all these other healthy habits that could maybe slowly build for them. But again, starting small, starting soft, starting with our mornings. Let's get into it, shall we? And also, honeys, if you stay right to the very end, there's a cheeky little discount waiting for you. But for now, I'm going to shut up and I'm going to let Roselle take the wheel. Here we go. All right, here we go. Hello, Roselle. Welcome to the Butterfly Effect podcast. How are you feeling, honey?
I'm very good, thank you. Yeah, it's exciting to be on here. I listen, so it's fun to be like,
oh. Thank you for listening. Are you like a regular listener or are you a bit behind? Where are you at?
Oh, I'm an on and off listener with every podcast ever. So I'm like in and then I'm out, and then I'm in and then I'm out. But like it's on my rotation.
No, so, I love that. That's so fine. Sometimes I will go in on podcasts and I'll listen to like 5 a day, and then sometimes I won't listen to any for like weeks and weeks and weeks. But my favorite thing, like I have known in the past that you're a listener. When we went to Amy's 30th and you like cornered me, it was the episode where something to do with like a situationship I was in. Yeah. And you came up to me straight away and you were like, Lauren, what was the lie? Yeah. And I was like, oh God. But that was so fun.
I need the detail now.
Yeah, and you were able to get all the behind the scenes goss with that one, so well done.
It was great.
Stunning. So we are talking all about mornings, and obviously just a little disclaimer for those that are listening, we are recording this in advance because we're keen little beans and we're being lovely pre-organized little beans as well. So well done us, little pat on the back. So in anticipation for 2026, the new year, obviously there's going to be a whole load of discourse on new year, new me. We're going to transform ourselves. We're going to live our best life. And yep, that's a lot. But I do feel like there is this kind of I don't know, there is this freshness that comes with a new year. Like I myself am definitely looking forward to the new year, into 2026, and the things that I'm hopefully going to bring in. So obviously embracing that freshness, but in a real mindful way, I think is the theme, is the approach. And you have a very particular approach to shaping a life that you're proud of and that you're content with. So tell us about it all. I'll let you take the floor. Go for it, Roselle.
Yeah, well, basically, I'm a huge New Year, New Me person.
Sure.
Every year.
Sure. Every year, reinvention, rebrand.
Yeah. I do feel like, I mean, we come from the same industry as well with yoga, and it's like the busiest time of the year. There's a lot of hope and optimism. And so there's a lot of January blues, but actually in our industry, there's a lot of fun. And this sense of hope. We get to see the flip side, the good side, and you get to see that in March there's still a few people who've remained. So
it is interesting seeing all the newbies come to the surface in 2026, and it's like, okay, who's still around in spring? Who's still lingering? Yeah, it's interesting.
But I love it, and basically, yes, I run an entire business off changing and becoming a morning person. And there's no better time to try and do that than in January. And I did do that. So I am somebody who, I don't keep all my resolutions, I don't do all of that, but
does anyone?
Actually the year, who does? But 5 years ago, that is what happened to me. I changed and I became a morning person. And I did it specifically knowing I was going into the new year. And so I decided that was gonna be my one big thing that I would do. But I kind of framed, I don't know how you do, I don't really do resolutions anymore, but I do a year of, so I like theme an entire year and then try and kind of make everything work within that framework.
Beautiful.
And this was the first year I did it, and it was very successful. It was the most successful one.
Okay, nice. Well done. Well done. I mean, 5 years on and it's still going, and you've put it all into practice. Yeah. I think in terms of New Year's resolutions, I tend to think of it more like intentions. Like I might have an intention to do a certain something, but I like what you just said about having one thing and then shaping everything else around it, because I do think we tend to go all in on lots of different things. We kind of spread ourselves too thin, right? And then that's when we kind of burn out. That's when things get fatiguing. That's when things maybe start to feel more like chores rather than like those healthy habits that we're all trying to build. So maybe setting the intention to focus on one thing and shaping other things around it in order to facilitate that one thing. Maybe that's the better way to go about it as well. I'm also a big vision board, and I believe you are as well. And
I am, yes. It's on and off. Some years I'm successful and some years I'm less successful. But yes, I do love a vision board. The intention is good.
Yes. I love a vision board, even if it's like, well, whether you create a vision board or whether it's more like a mood board, I just think it's a real beautiful way to, again, visualize, how we're showing up in this year. So you're saying it was about 5 years ago. Is that 2020? Yeah. Is that the dreaded 2020?
Yes, it was. Yes, it was a good year for all.
A good year for like some healthy habits to build, but also a good year for all those habits to fall away. It was a very challenging year for lots of different reasons. So, okay, like talk us through maybe like the purpose, or what was, because I know you run this business called the Morning Motivational Club. Yeah. So what's the motivation behind the Motivational Club?
Yeah. So basically, within 2020, by the time it got to this time, literally this time 5 years ago, I just hit rock bottom. I mean, I'm an incredibly optimistic and hopeful person in general. Like that's my baseline. And I think we knew that we were about to go into a third lockdown by this point. And it was during those times. And it had just stripped everything away from me. I feel like all the hope and the optimism, every single time my parents live in Yorkshire, but I was living in London and I had for years. And I had to go back to my parents. I think it had been like 2 or 3 times by that point. Yeah. And I was like, and I kept being like, no, now I'm going back to London. Now it's all going to be great. And in that year, I lost a brand new relationship. I lost the flat that I loved in London. I lost the beginnings of my professional career in London, my professional acting career. All those jobs just went. And I was suddenly way worse than I ever had been.
Sure.
So at that point, I think I knew there was a third lockdown. I'd resigned myself to that. And I knew that actually I would be staying with my parents for a while. And so I said, I mean, I'm very lucky that I had that and they're great. And it is a nice place to go. But at the same time, I was like, all right, I'm 27 years old. this is happening. And I felt like I had reached, it was very much like the Bridesmaids movie. I was like, oh, this is rock bottom. You know, like during that year, I thought I'd kept hitting rock bottom, and then it turned out
and then you're like, this is it. Yeah.
And then it really happened. And I was like, right, if I don't change, I'm 27, no one's coming to save me. So I kind of guess I have to do this by myself. And so that's when I decided I was going to theme my year, which then became the year of health. And there was one, I mean, I did lots of things that year that were great, and I did set goals to do them, but they were very like, it was like start therapy, you know, it was things that aren't within my control and that are just overridingly helpful. However, one of them that I did was I just had this thought that I thought if I changed my mornings, I'd change everything. Like if I could conquer that, then I could conquer anything. And so that was my biggest goal. And that is the one that 5 years later is like that's the bedrock. That's my anchor. That's my foundation.
Beautiful.
My biggest habit. And it will now never change. In
and
terms
that's
of
beautiful.
Being a morning
You've found that anchor. That I think that's probably what people most struggle with. I think that everyone's kind of looking for that anchor, that one thing that can underpin all these other healthy habits. And as I was listening to you talk about hitting rock bottom, I actually think there's something so beautiful in hitting rock bottom. Like I've had a few thoughts. Obviously, when you're in it, it feels like this is hell on earth. But when you're able to like look back on it, I don't know, I just feel like there's something so powerful in just letting everything kind of burn to the ground and that rebuilding. But that can take a hell of a lot of courage. That can take a hell of a lot of commitment. And sometimes there's that resistance to actually surrendering to the fact that we might be at rock bottom because we almost don't want to admit it.
Yeah, at this point it had been, I definitely hit it like twice before. And therefore it got to the point where I was like, oh, there's nowhere else this could go, is there?
Yeah.
So I think that there was a complete surrendering to it. And that was really freeing and nice.
Beautiful.
That's why it's the Morning Motivation Club. And that's because the motivation, so it's an interesting one. Motivation isn't really real. So it's an interesting thing to name a club after, but it's not really real. So the idea is we take the motivation out of the equation for you. We are the motivation. You don't have to bring motivation to it because I did have that motivation. Essentially, you only really get it if you have enough external force behind it. But I don't believe you should have to get to the point that I got to in order to change. Like you don't need to get to rock bottom to then change a habit. Like that's too extreme. So yes, I had the motivation. However, I don't think everybody else needs to. I just don't think you do, because if you have enough, you'll change things anyway. So we are here to take that motivation away. We are the motivation. You just turn up. That's your only job. You just
I like that. Yeah, because I think motivation is something that everyone really struggles with, and everyone's it's another thing like confidence. People are trying to always find more confidence, the confidence to do things, the confidence to make change. And it's like, again, confidence is one of those things that doesn't really exist, or it only comes through with practice.
Yes.
And I think the same with motivation when you're trying to build new healthy habits. Again, it comes through with practice. A habit is something that is repeated over time, right? So again, it's finding those healthy patterns, I guess.
It's finding the systems, basically.
Yes, the systems.
If you find the right system, then it works.
Yeah. System is a real word that's kind of been landing in my head quite a bit recently. And I think, when you were talking about theme, like having a theme for the year, that theme was health, I believe you said.
Yeah.
I always like to have a word of the year, although this year I had 5 and it's looking like next year I'm probably going to have 3. Wow. Again, it's a similar vein of thought, like having these different themes and having these little focuses. And system is another one that kind of keeps coming up into my head, because we can have all these goals, we can have these resolutions, we can have these intentions, but unless we have a system in place that's going to support that, then you're not really going to contribute to that end goal. So you're providing the system, I guess.
Yes.
Beautiful. So tell us about that system. Let's go.
Yeah, so we have the system. So right now we're 3 months in currently. So
well done.
It's so brand new, but we already have a really engaged and fantastic members. So it's wonderful.
Stunning.
But basically what we provide currently is live 7 a.m. sessions that are just 15 minutes long. So the intention is, it's super easy. It's super short amount of time, but it's enough. So currently we run sort of off WhatsApp and Zoom. So you will, once you've joined, once you've signed up, we send you a link at 6:45 a.m. and it goes straight to your WhatsApp. And then you just click on the link and you could do this. So you may already be up and about. That's fine. You just come to a seated position. You can start there. But you can also join it from your bed. So you can join it. You can wake up, just click the link, and we will guide you. I will guide you from lying down or seated to seated with meditation. And then from there to standing. And then we do movement. And we do movement. It follows kind of a theme of the week. So it could be balance, it could be hips, it could be back bends, like anything like that. But it's very accessible, I would say. To it as well. And then by the end, you've always got a daily affirmation as well. And you end at 7:15. That's it. Within 15 minutes, you have meditated, you have moved, and then you have your daily affirmation and you are good to go. So it is the system that I looked for when I wanted to change my mornings, and it didn't exist.
Beautiful.
So I had to do it alone. Yeah, I had to do it completely alone. And I was like, why does this not exist? Because I mean, so I'm going to go on a bit of a tangent now about mornings.
Go for it. We love a tangent. The amount I waffle on this podcast, it's so fun. Waffle away, honey.
I do love
I'm all ears.
So there is a thing, and this is my big rallying cry for people, is that I did believe that you are either a morning person or you're not. And that's it. I don't know if you've ever experienced this, because we need to get onto your mornings in a moment.
I know, she's gonna take me through a little morning audit, and I'm scared.
No, it's really great. I love it. They're my favorite things in the world.
Beautiful.
But people have this idea, and maybe you've seen this too, of that I knew people growing up, I know people now, and in general, they have just always been a morning person. They'll just say like, oh yeah, I wake up early. I just get out of bed. You know, well, the alarm goes off and I just get up.
Yeah.
Don't you?
No.
5 years ago, I was like, does this not change then? So I'm just not a morning person, and I never ever will be, because I'm too old at this point. Like, I'm not a teenager anymore. There's no excuses there. When does this actually just change? Or is it that I just am not one of these people then? So I just can't wake up early. I'll just always wake up groggy. I'll always wake up sluggish. I'll always wake up without a sense of routine. I'll always feel like I'm a little bit rushed or a little bit late, or like I have too much time and then I don't have enough. And I was like, how are these people just waking up? And I was just a bit jealous. So that's why I changed it. But I think there's a side of me that got to be very curious. I was like, is it possible to become one? Because I actually didn't know anyone who had. I only knew that you either were or you weren't.
So you're like conducting your own little experiment.
Yeah.
Nice. I like that.
Yeah. So I read everything. I read all the studies. I did all the methods that they tell you to do. And honestly, I understood why I hadn't before and why other people don't bother, because it really took over my life, was trying to figure out how to do it. So if you're somebody that also, you know, I was deep into third lockdown of COVID on furlough, you know, I had nothing to do. It was fine for me.
Yeah. That's the perfect time for all this experimentation.
My only goal. That was the only thing I had to do all day.
Just to wake up each morning. That's it. That's my only goal.
Figure out the cure. So I did that for ages. And it carried on much longer than that too. Obviously, like just trial and error and stuff. But what I realized was that, I am literally living proof that you can. Because now I wake up, I would say it's 90% of the time, and I will wake up before my alarm. Like, I wouldn't need an alarm. I don't need one. I just have it there more as insurance. But I will wake up before the alarm, same time, every day. And I will wake up and I will just get up. Yeah, and I just want to get up and have whatever the little morning routine is that I want at that current moment. But it has been completely life-changing.
Nice. Amazing.
And you can do it, basically, is what I want to say to people. You can.
So I love that, because and actually I love the fact that we're doing this, and when you first reached out and potentially being a guest on the podcast as well. It was so actually aligned as well, because I've had these same thoughts that what you're talking about, what you went through about 5 years ago, and the thoughts on getting curious about changing the mornings and actually seizing the day. Maybe for the past 6 months or so, maybe even more, I've also had that same kind of urge to just seize my mornings a little bit more and embrace more of the day, because I constantly felt like I was running out of time and was therefore rushing, and then was thinking like, why am I not able to get all these things done when like there's time for these things to be done? Like, and it just felt like I was wasting so much of my time. So that's why I'm so excited for this conversation. And again, a lot of what you're saying is already just kind of like making sense. Like, this is me now. So amazing. So now you spoke about like the 5 years ago, and obviously the motivation, finding the motivation to, and that curiosity to change your mornings. Maybe then let's cut to now. You say that everything's changed, everything feels different. Talk to me about that. What has changed? What's like the real evidence for this experiment?
Yeah. Well, okay. So my days, I feel so this is it. I feel more in control of my own life. I think that's the big thing, is that I'm now in the driver's seat, whereas before it didn't really feel like that. I kind of choose my days. They feel much more intentional. They feel calmer, more grounded. Exactly what you just said is a huge thing of like, I feel like I have time. I have time now to do things. There is enough time. And it's not even about waking up like crazy early. It's not really about that. It's about the calmness of it, I think, and of knowing that each day there's going to be this sort of routine, like that it's not going to be, oh, today I'm waking up really early, but then tomorrow I don't know what time I wake up and I don't know what time. Like, no, so I like to say that with children, right, they have a bedtime and they have a wake up time. Like you're in control of that. When you have kids, you do that for them. And then somewhere along the way, we forget about this and we don't do it anymore. But actually, it's really good for us. It's good for us to be waking up at the same time each day. So, I mean, in terms of the actual things in my life, one, I would never have, it's not even about what the business is about, but I wouldn't have made a business without that. I wouldn't have done that. I wouldn't have taken the yoga career that I did have in London as seriously as I did, because I had the time and the space and the energy to be thinking about it. I wouldn't be in the relationship that I'm in, which is kind of a funny one because he's a DJ. Like he definitely doesn't wake up. We're on complete opposite ends here. This was a big thing when we first got together.
He's DJing until like 3-4 a.m. and you're like, right, 7 a.m. Let's go.
We have once crossed paths in the morning, which was that happened one time and it was very odd.
And actually I'd be interested in talking to that at some point, because I feel like when you're trying to establish a new routine, and when you're living with someone as well, it's probably maybe slightly easier on your own.
It is easier on your own. It's 100% easier.
Sure. But when you're living with someone, you're trying to establish a new routine, it's helpful when they can also do it with you.
Yes.
So I'd be interested to hear about that. We can go into it a little bit later, or we can go into it now. But how you found that, establishing that routine in introducing this new partner. Obviously you've been together
it's 3 years now.
3 years now. So talk to me about that and that the clash.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's as big a clash as you could have. In terms of, so it really it's good. I mean, this is why I'm glad I did the business when I did, because I have been through. The only thing that I haven't been through is like having children, which to be honest is a whole other kettle of fish. You just do what you can for a while. So that's fine. But outside of that, obviously it's been 5 years, so there's been an awful lot that has happened. And it was actually a really big thing when we did get together, because I'd been single for 4 years before I met him. And for 2 of those years, I'd be waking up. And for 2 of those years, I'd been actually really quite strict, because once I'd seen the benefits, I protected it like nothing else. Like I was really, really scared of losing the habit, which I'm here to say, like, that won't actually happen. After a certain amount of time, you won't lose that habit. It's fine. Like I can be much more wiggly about it now. And I still know my baseline is early mornings and it's easy and it's fine. So that's okay. However, when we first got together, I was scared of that. So I would be waking up and I would go to another room. I would always leave the bedroom first thing anyway, pretty much as soon as I woke up and I got out and made my bed. So I would leave the room, and I was really determined about that. And I will say it was tricky at the beginning, because you're trying to keep your sense of, well, this is what I do, but you're also trying to have a good time.
Sure.
Too. So it does change slightly. I would say the biggest thing is to have some form of accountability. So this, it's silly, but like, to bring it back to the club, I mean, this is literally why the club exists. And I have other people messaging about this, which is about, I have a partner. How do I also do it? Now we're quite quiet. So, you know, it's all, no, you don't have to do anything. If you're in the space, if you're in there in those 15 minutes, your mic isn't on, your camera isn't on. So you just put your headphones in and you can just do it alongside. Like, it's not going to be this crazy big thing. It's not tons of energy. It just gets you out of bed. Okay. So that, I would say, is helpful for people who do have a partner. Otherwise, realistically, you have to be firm in saying, this is what I do.
Yeah. I think it's a case of like boundaries as well.
Yeah. I don't think you should push them to do it.
Okay.
I've never tried to make him be a morning person, if that makes sense.
Fair enough.
But do you know what? Now he is.
Oh, well done. Well done, honey. Get that DJ off in the morning. No, I feel like, again, when it's a healthy habit, I feel like it naturally rubs off on the other person as well.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. And like, I think, I mean, this is, again, going on a bit of a tangent in terms of like new relationships and establishing like that healthy relationship. Yeah. It all comes back down to boundaries. And I think what you were touching upon, like holding that sense of self and holding on to what really works for you and what really benefits you, is just, it's all part of like keeping what you have built whilst being a single girly, even going into relationship, which I find is probably the hardest thing.
It is, yeah.
So I might be coming to you when it gets to that point. Because I feel like it's one of those things that often kind of, just pulls me back a little bit, because I immediately lose anything healthy that I've established, and it just feels like
it's so easy to do.
Yeah. But I think that's maybe because I'm not as firm in those healthy habits yet. I feel like I'm still.
But you wouldn't stop doing yoga?
No.
Would you? I mean, I don't know. Would you? No. You wouldn't stop your teaching?
No, absolutely not.
So there you are. So you do have some things.
Yeah.
That are non-negotiables. That are your boundaries.
Yeah. I think I'm getting better at it for sure. I think this past year, or again, maybe in the past. Again, I feel like it's been like 6 months or so that I have definitely got better at establishing better boundaries and holding on to what I know serves me, and not just throwing it all away just because another person is coming into the picture. I think it's just all part of the process. All part of that process of just slowly figuring out what really works, what doesn't. Yeah, but that's why I was interested when you mentioned it. I was like, tell me about that.
No, and it is. I think it is hard. We've had discussions, like every time when we move to a new flat or a new place or something, again, like very quickly there has to be another discussion about, well, he needs more sleep, or, he's got gigs that mean that he can't get up. I wouldn't advise that he gets up at 6 a.m. if he's going to bed at 2. That would be stupid. Like, that's not a good idea. But then if I'm only in the next room and there's only a thin wall between us, then maybe I can't do yoga in that room because he's going to hear it and it's going to wake him up. Yeah. So I don't, honestly, one thing about being single was that my space was mine. It was great. Yeah. There were some real advantages. And so I think if there's anything that you can create and hold on to and get those systems in place whilst being single, that's the best time. Like, get them locked in, and then no one can mess with them.
Sure.
You're done. But I completely relate, because I was so locked in because I was 2 years in. So I was like, you're not changing this for me. Like, this wouldn't, I'm held firm on those. But also, definitely get you a guy who is okay with it. Yeah. And not being a little prat about the whole situation.
A little prat.
I think it goes both ways too.
No, for sure. I actually do find it quite attractive when a guy is also a bit more of a morning person and is again seizes the day. So yes, maybe it's a case of just needing to practice what I preach a little bit. So okay, always. Fabulous. We always need to practice what we preach.
We always need to do that. I mean, I still need to do that,
Fabulous. Okay, cool. So it's been going for 3 months, and I mean, I keep seeing bits of it on social media as well. And obviously, mutual friends of ours have been participating, and I love to see. So, what feedback have you had from people as part of the club? What have they been saying?
Well, honestly, I think the biggest thing is I created this club. I did it earlier this year as well. There was sort of a 3-month almost trial at the time. Sure. So from kind of April to June time, I started it, but not in the way I have now. Okay. And so I did 3 months and with very few members. And I learned a lot from that of actually, okay, how exactly should it properly work the next time too? Like, because by this point, there's a danger in that I'm so far in, I so know all the good stuff and all the right stuff to do, and that you can tend to forget exactly what it was like right at the beginning of struggling with your mornings. So I did change the sort of formula of those 15 minutes slightly for when we restarted in September. And then the feedback, you build something and then the feedback you get is that it works and you're like, oh, yes, I knew it.
And that's exactly what you're hoping for. Yeah, you're hoping for that, again, further evidence, because know, you've been through the process, but I feel like it's another level trying to encourage others to find it as well, because
oh my gosh,
I feel like even though you've established this system, and I think with anything, whenever you're launching a system, a program, a club, a business, there's always going to be a figuring out stage, because everyone is still very much individuals. What worked for you might not necessarily work for a person. But however, there's enough flexibility in the framework so it can work for everyone. And I just love the sound of it, because 15 minutes every morning, everyone can find 15 minutes every morning. Yeah. I'm so sure of that. And I'm saying that to myself right now, Lauren, you can find 15 minutes in the morning.
Yeah. Well, the good thing is that you don't really have to do anything. Like I've made it so that you just click on, like you click, I'll do the rest. Like that's it. You just
as convenient as it could possibly be. Yeah,
exactly. You don't even have to have left your bed. Yeah, you just have to click through. Like that's the only thing you have to do, and then we'll take it from there. And honestly, we have 2 members that we did a 90-day challenge, and we have 2 members who are both on, I think, around 75 days now. One of them is in a row. She's done it in a row. She's done it every single day. And that's just incredible. And we just have members who we have the same names popping up, same stuff every single day. And they're feeling, one thing I didn't think about as much is actually the sense of community. So there's twofold. Some people are joining because they want to have nicer, earlier mornings, and they want to become a morning person. And some people are joining because they actually already are, but they like that sense of community. Yeah, and that's something that I didn't know. And it's such an amazing byproduct of it.
That's really sweet. So I love that.
I love it. It's so cute.
That's really sweet.
Yeah, but it's working. We get feedback all the time of people saying that that they're enjoying the 15, that they're starting to wake up earlier, that it's starting to feel a bit easier. What I would say is we're not even no one in the group yet has been doing it long enough for the impact that I know it can have, because 3 months is the minimum of doing it before you can create a habit. It's the minimum. I mean, people think they can create a habit in 30 days, but they can't. That's not how it works. There's no studies that show it's 30 days. All the studies are 90 days or longer. So we're not even at that point yet where people are going to know the actual impact that it can have.
And that's exciting, because you're seeing little hints at it. You're seeing little inklings of it. And then again, like you're just at the start, you're just scratching the surface. And I think the potential of it, not just within like the business view, but like for the people that are joining, it's just huge. I love the what is the tagline you have? Change your mornings, change your life. I think that's beautiful. I'm ready to change my life.
Yeah, well, I love that. I feel like you're like the absolute perfect. If there was an ideal person, it would be someone who is single and who has their own space. But like it really would, like that's
Yeah.
exactly when I did it. You have everything in place for this to be the easiest transition, which is just great. But I mean, I really, really want to talk a little bit about your mornings then. I just want to hear about them. So talk about your mornings.
It's like you're spinning the dial back on me. The interviewer becomes the interviewee.
Yeah,
let's go.
I'm
going to get nervous. I'm going to start sweating. No. This could probably feel, I was thinking about this morning, because obviously I knew that this was coming up. And I was thinking about it in my morning. I was like, oh God, this could either be like really confronting, really exposing for me. But it's no doubt going to be super beneficial. I'm excited for it anyway. So
I'll be nice.
I mean, to be fair, if you want to be brutal, it's okay. I can take it.
I'm also a little bit confrontational, so that'll probably happen too. I'll be good.
So my mornings, I mean, I feel like recently it's definitely been a very obviously last week I was very poorly, so I had no choice but to kind of just fully surrender to that rest.
Sleep.
So I feel like off the back of that, this week has felt a bit of a struggle because I think I'm still in kind of some sort of recovery.
Sure.
Therefore, my mornings haven't been as productive as I like. But in a general sense, if I literally take this morning as an example, because I think it's a perfect example of what they usually shape up to be. But I've had a few mornings in the past where I've woken up and I've just, I started at like 6 a.m. and I just felt like really, really good about it. So I know that I can do it and I know the benefits of it. So it's like just making it more consistent. So this morning was one of those mornings where, again, just couldn't quite get myself going. And as a result, I just felt like I was flustered and then late. And I didn't really need to be anywhere. I needed to be in the studio for my first client at 10:30.
Okay.
That's so much time in the morning.
Yeah.
And almost it feels like too much time sometimes because I'll be like, oh, I've got time to do this, time to do that. And then before I know it, it's like I'm already 10 minutes late. And I'm like, I had so much time. What have I been doing? So that's more often than not what happens. Like I am in that fortunate position where I don't necessarily need to be anywhere super early.
Yeah.
But I still want to feel like I'm up, my mind is active, I'm seizing the day. And I've got that time for me, I suppose, before I'm actually getting into work mode, I guess.
Yeah.
So I don't know if there's anything else you want to know about my mornings, but that's basically, I'm usually late. I'm usually running out of time. But
Well, it sounds like it sounds exactly like I had too. I completely relate. That's exactly what used to happen with me, especially because we both had similar lifestyles in terms of like self-employed as well, so there's no one there really isn't that routine and that set amount of time you have to be somewhere. So it can be really challenging in that way. We do have a mix of people in the club who are self-employed and then also who have office jobs too, so it works with both. But okay, I want to ask you a few questions to figure it out. Right. I know. What is the first thing you do when you wake up?
Oh God. So to be fair, I'm a bit of a snoozer with the alarm. And actually this is something that I want to get. So I used to sleep with my phone in a completely separate room. And this is actually a perfect example of how I had a healthy habit in lockdown. And then in lockdown, all those healthy habits went out the window. Sure. So I had a really good routine of leaving my phone in the other room. My alarm would still go off. And I suppose because I'm in a flat, it's a bit easier. Yeah. But I would, that would literally get me up out of bed because I'd have to get up out of bed in order to switch the alarm off. Yeah. So again, that's a healthy habit that has unfortunately fallen to the wayside. Sure. So I'm now probably a bit more of a snoozer of the alarm. And when I snooze the alarm, I will either go back to sleep and actually like fully conk out again, or I'll be thinking in my head like, okay, what have I got on today? What am I going to wear today? What's the first thing on my to-do list? What am I going to do? Like I start in that like in between like sleep and wake state. I'm already starting to process my day a little bit. Yeah. So probably the first thing that I do is snooze. And then once I am probably awake, I'm not gonna lie, there probably is some scrolling there as well.
Yeah, I was going to say 9 times out of 10 is scrolling as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is it's just too much. It's too much dopamine to have in the morning. Like the scrolling is a big thing because it's
Yes.
too much dopamine. So it
Okay.
kind of it depletes you for the rest of the day because you've had too much quick, instant dopamine hitting you.
Oh, that's
So
interesting. I've not heard of
yeah,
it been framed that way before.
yeah, it's
Okay.
way too much. So your brain can't really handle it.
Okay.
Because we get this sort of like, look, these aren't quite the technical terms, but I think I've read them before and I'm like, I think these are the best terms. Like there's fast and slow dopamine.
Okay.
So fast dopamine is in its name. It's anything super quick, super instant gratification. So we just have an abundance of it with our screens now. So every time you scroll, that is just fast dopamine hitting you. But it's sort of as if you have a certain amount of dopamine. And
Sure.
again, this is just, I think the easiest way to explain it. This is not the absolute scientific terms, but this is kind of what's going on. But there's almost a certain amount of dopamine. So if you are getting this massive amount of fast dopamine, your baseline is going to go way too high, which means then the slow dopamine really doesn't hit as well anymore. This is why slow dopamine is like learning things. It's where you're growing and learning. So that's why people love things like gardening or playing an instrument or all those things. They are slow dopamine. Whereas your social media is all fast dopamine. But once you've hit all this fast dopamine, the slow dopamine doesn't look as good. It doesn't feel as fun. So you don't want to do it. So if the very first thing you're doing in the morning or the very last thing at night is this massive amount of fast dopamine going into your system, it's a terrible way to fall asleep and it's a terrible way to wake up. But unfortunately, it's also incredibly addictive. So that's why we do it. You know, I don't think anyone is to blame for doing it. It's designed for us to do. Like there's it's $1 billion industry to keep us on our phones. So I don't think there's any judgment on any of us doing it. I think it's amazing when any of us don't. We're supposed to. Yes to scrolling. I feel like it's always the one that people kind of forget they do. But it is actually messing up their mornings quite a lot, is the scrolling.
Yeah.
But
see, I'm very aware that it's messing up my mornings and my evenings as well. And I think I've, again, noticed it in the past week because, again, when I was ill, all I was really doing was scrolling. So then I just got more, I've just got more into that habit and it's become more addictive. There was a night, a couple of nights ago, well, I just felt so overstimulated and I felt almost overloaded by all this dopamine. And I was just like, you know what? I just really want to put my phone away.
Yes.
And I
you
think
get a dopamine hangover.
Yes.
Is what it's sort of called.
Yeah, I'm loving all these phrases. Dopamine hangover. That's absolutely the one.
Yeah. And so, I mean, so one, like the scrolling obviously is a big one, but it's also a challenging one. I mean, I have an absolute phone addiction. So I've just bought that thing Brick.
I've heard of this.
Yet.
Okay, fair.
Yeah, I just need to like lock. I need it to be taken away from me. That's what I need. I need it to be taken away from me. I don't have the willpower to deal with it.
You can set all these like time limits on the apps, but I'm just like extend for 15 minutes.
I just
extend for 15 minutes.
It doesn't.
It's almost too easy.
It's too easy. It's too easy. Unless I have to physically move to go and change something. Like it's not going to work for me. I used to have a safe when I did this the first time round.
Wow.
I had a safe and I would lock it in my safe. So
isn't it crazy that we need to do these things? We have to actually physically like lock our phone. How wild. Yeah.
But the best thing you did was your previous habit. So that is, I mean, like, look, we run off the phone right now for our club. And that was always a sticking point slightly for me because really the best thing you can do is not have your phone. So it's for me, it was trying to figure out how can I reach the most people? And what I found is that when we did the trial of it, most people were doing it from their phones. So whether or not I advocate for the fact you shouldn't have your phone in the morning doesn't really matter because most people are going to have their phone by their bed anyway, regardless. So therefore, what can we do that's nicer for them in the morning? Because at least then click through and then you go on that. And usually at the end of a session, I would be like, and now put your phones away. What are you going to do in these next 15 minutes? Put them away. But the best thing that you did do, and that's why, you know, the club, you can do it from seated or from your bed. So, you know, the idea is that you could go and get your phone and then you could do it from the sofa. What you did was, I mean, to be fair, great. You know, you want your alarm not within your reach. You need to get out of bed because that's what you found, right? Once you're out of bed, everything's a bit easier. What you did is exactly what I started with when I started changing my mornings was my phone, not my phone. I bought an iPod Touch so that I wouldn't be on my phone, but that was in the other room. So it was in the bathroom. So it meant that I had to get up, I had to turn that off, and then I would make my bed so that the bed wasn't appealing anymore. I would say to anyone, if their mornings are really challenging at the moment and like you're right at the beginning of doing anything, is to put your alarm out of arm's reach. You have to get out of bed. You have to make it hard for yourself, because once you're up, that's the easiest bit then.
Once you're up, it's like that's the hardest bit, and then you're already halfway there to actually like starting your day. You're like 3/4 of the way there.
That is literally why our 15 minutes are about getting you out of bed.
So and I like the sound of that journey it kind of takes you on, slowly building you up and slowly finding your feet. I think that's why that works.
That's the idea. But I mean, that alarm away from your bed. The other thing, which is really interesting, is that you say like, oh, the other thing that you do is you think about what you've got to do that day. So this is a huge thing, is planning the day vaguely the night before, because that's also my biggest thing. I can see when my day goes slightly skew because I didn't plan it the day before. And especially then, even the first like hour, just planning the first few things. Also, one of the big things I can suggest is that you have like a little hit list of things that feel really good for you to do in the morning, and you make them as easy as possible. So, I mean, look, if you love yoga, and if that is what you want to do in the morning, which I know, we're yoga teachers, we don't always want to do yoga first thing anyway, so that's fine. But just taking that as an example, if you did, your yoga mat, like, again, really fortunate because you actually have your whole space to yourself. You've got nobody saying like, can we put the yoga mat away, which is what I get. But leave it out so that when you get up, you have your clothes ready. You do is you put your clothes by your alarm, you go, you turn your alarm off, you put your clothes on, and you go to the mat. Done. And that will wake you up, and then that's 10 minutes and you're already there. So either that or, for instance, at the moment my current routine is I will do my morning pages first thing. So I have it already out. Like I always have my clothes ready. Like still to this day, I will always have my clothes ready.
It's like you're at school and setting out your school uniform for the next day. I love it.
Will always have them, and they are always outside the bedroom. And so, every single day I will, for me now, the alarm is within reach, but I won't snooze. If I snooze, it's absolutely on purpose and intentionally that I'm like, no, I shall take another hour for myself, which is fine. You don't have to be a martyr forever. Like I'm okay, but I know that my baseline is actually, I want to wake up. In general, I want to wake up and I want to get up. So it's fine.
Sure. And I think with seasonal changes as well, like people always say it's harder to get up in the winter. And obviously, again, we want to rise with the sun, right? So I think in summer, it's easier to wake up early. And I think when it does get to winter and you do feel like that intuitive craving, I feel like I do actually need an extra hour, you can give yourself that permission to have that extra hour, because again, the world is still sleeping, it's still dark outside.
I think it is about being it's really about being intentional. Like what is the intention behind it? And it's not about like laziness. I don't believe that not waking up early means that you're lazy, because that's how I used to view it with myself. I was like, I am a lazy person. And that's the identity I used to assume. I used to think, well, other people can just wake up and I can't. I'm lazy. And what you say about yourself is the most important thing. So within this is why I'm always saying like, I'm a morning person. And
that's what I was going to say to you earlier on. The language we use, the language we use to describe ourselves, like if saying more and more, I'm not a morning person, then the more likely you are to not be a morning person.
Exactly.
And the more you say like, I am a morning person, then again, it's always like that reprogramming, isn't it? Recalibration.
It absolutely is. And I was saying I'm a morning person way before I was. But I was like, I am a morning person.
Nice. That is it. I will fake it until I make it. I am a morning person.
And it did work. But you then have to follow through on the system. So like we're checking about systems. Then it's the systems. You just got to make your life easy. I mean, one of the things I would say as well is that one, the language. So we beat ourselves up about it. I think if anyone like listening can relate to this, you will know what we're talking about. If you're like, oh my God, that's me. I think that I'm lazy. I think I'm not a morning person. Like, I think these things, and why are they so hard? And that's just it. It's just ingrained and I can't change it. And that's not true. So one is the identity of saying it. And two is then the systems you have in place to make it easier. And then you just follow through on the systems, and they don't need to be crazy and they do not need to be ridiculous. So we are like, you know, when you hear of like 75 hard. Oh, have you not heard of this? Okay, I
feel like it's ringing a bell, but
it's a gym thing where you go crazy. It's like 75 days or something, and then you do like 2 workouts a day. You do this crazy diet, or you don't drink, or you don't. I don't know. Anyway,
sure.
If anybody doesn't know what I'm talking about, they'll know. But basically, it's really, really extreme, and so I don't know if you've ever heard of 5 a.m. club, because that's the big thing within like anything to do with mornings. If anyone's tried to change their mornings, 9 times out of 10 they have heard about the 5 a.m. club, which is a book, and it rocked the world. It's like I think it sold like 15 million. It's a bestseller. Look, not to be too feminist, but it was written by a man and it shows.
Sure.
It's so extreme. Like, so basically, because this was something that, again, I would like beat myself up over, because I was like, it's all about how, you know, all the billionaires wake up at 5 a.m. and you need 1 hour, you need an entire hour. So you need to wake up at 5, and then within that hour, you do 20 minutes of movement, 20 minutes of journaling, and 20 minutes of learning. And so suddenly you need an hour. Now, also, I mean, who wants to get up at 5 a.m.?
Who willingly wants to get up at 5 a.m.? Yeah, no.
So we're like the soft version. So when I said 75 hard, like that's kind of the way I think about it, is that there's these versions, and then there's like someone else has created like 75 soft or something. We are that for 5 a.m. club. Now, you may want to wake up at 5 a.m. and that's fine. But I wanted to create something that is more about a mindset than it is about you must take an entire hour. Like, no, you don't have to do that. It's fine. Like, it's fine. It's just about change your identity, because we get a lot of people who want different times than 7 a.m. And that's one thing I'd say. Like, the biggest thing I get is people saying like, I want to wake up at 6. But I'm like, when do you wake up now? And they're like 8. And I'm like, that's a huge jump.
Yeah, you've got, I think people often do go for the extremes, don't they? They go from, okay, I'm waking up at 8, so now I want to wake up at 6. Or people like, they want to wake up at 5.
Yes.
And again, I want to have a whole hour to myself. Like, again, you can't go from 0 to 100. It's got to be small incremental changes over time, hasn't it?
Yeah, you're likely to fail. That's the thing. You're setting yourself up to fail, and then you will think, and then you will just get the same pattern again of like, oh, well, I can't do it. I can't do it. Like, I've tried and I can't do it.
And
like,
then you'll start berating yourself again. And then you'll be like, oh, why am I so lazy? That's when that negative language comes back in.
Exactly.
And we just fall back into that cycle. Yeah.
It's exactly what I started with. I said I wanted to do 6 a.m. There's something psychologically about 6 a.m., I think, that people think, oh, 6 a.m. But I wanted 6 a.m. I can tell you right now, I did not do that 5 years ago. I tried, and then I was immediately like, no. And then I did 7, which is why the club is at 7. And now I'm actually at 6 a.m. naturally.
Nice.
So naturally I will wake up at 6 a.m. But this is 5 years in.
Yeah.
And that's fine with me. Yeah. And like, I could probably do 5 a.m. But like, do I want to? Because I also want to, not go to bed at 9 or at 8 p.m.
Yeah.
So I think it really is about being kind to yourself. And for me, the biggest thing about changing and becoming, liking your mornings is thinking of it as a lifelong endeavor. When again, just bringing it back to yoga, but I feel like we very much have that in common.
Sure.
When you're doing yoga, is people wanting to get things immediately. And for me, I was always like, I want to do this forever. I don't mind if I can't hold a handstand for a minute right now, because I want something to work to when I'm 45 and 50. So it's fine. Like, I want to do it forever, not just for a short time.
Yeah, 100%.
And you can think of that as mornings too. It's like, it's going to change with the seasons, just like you said. Winter, like my morning routine changes and my times change.
Okay, and that's
during the year.
because I don't hear many people talk about like people who have established like a really good morning routine. I don't hear them mention how it shifts through the seasons, and I work very seasonally.
Yes.
And I think I'm very much like, I mean, women, we're very cyclical in nature, but I really like to focus in on the natural cycles we have, not only with like our menstrual cycle, but again, the seasonal shifts. I just feel like when it comes from that aligned place, you're more likely to stick with any kind of new routine or new healthy habit you're trying to instill. So how do you shift your routine then according to seasons?
Yeah.
Or anything?
I mean, one, you're right. It's easier in summer. It's easier to change in summer, but it's also harder in a way because you want to stay out a bit later, or then you go on holidays. You have less of a rhythm, but it is easier to wake up, because the best thing you can do is wake up and walk outside. Like the best thing you can do is wake up and get sunlight on your face. But if you're from the UK, which I'm guessing a lot of people are, that's not going to happen in December.
Yeah.
Like, unless you're waking up, unfortunately, super late, and that's when you wake up, and that's your goal. And then you're not going to wake up and be able to get sunlight, and that is the biggest challenge. The only good thing about winter is that you tend to be almost doing a little bit less, and it's cozier in the evening, so you kind of want to go to bed a bit earlier. So it's kind of easier in that sense. But yes, I will shift and change my time. So I'm much kinder to myself in the winter in terms of how early I want to be getting up. But I really like the darkness of the mornings in winter, actually. I've gotten to enjoy that. And then it's like I get 2 hours of it being dark. You feel like you're before anyone else, so that's kind of fun.
There's like a weird satisfaction with that. Like it feels like you're awake before the rest of the world, and everything's quiet. And like, I do enjoy that about waking up early during the winter as well. Like I almost like keeping that little bit of coziness 100%. Just for myself. Yeah.
Yeah, it's romanticizing any of the seasons, I think. And then seeing,
I love a bit of romanticizing everything,
exactly. I was in France over the summer, and for instance, then I changed my routine again. I had to be really realistic about, what was going on at the time, in terms of we were probably staying out a bit later, and therefore I should be waking up slightly later, because the most important thing is sleep. You do want to get enough sleep. So then I would wake up a little bit later, but then at the same time, it was sunny every day. And that was when I was like, I'm going to run during the summer. I don't really run outside of that. So, but because I knew I had this location, I was like, I will run every day, like just short, but I will get out and I will run and I'll go for a walk. Now that I wake up and it's Liverpool and it's dark and it's rainy, I'm not going outside and going for a run.
Yeah, sure.
I don't want to. It's not. So now I do my morning pages instead. It's figuring out what actually works for the season. And you don't have to be so dogmatic about what it is.
So concrete,
But the consistency of time, especially at the beginning.
Okay.
My biggest advice is on pick a time and try to stick to it as much as you possibly can. Like if you can do 100% for 3 months, you'll nail it. Like that's fine. But if you can even do 70%, it will take you a bit longer, but you will get there, and your baseline will change and it will become natural. Nice. And then you just keep going with that. And there will be a point, for me, it was about 18 months after I'd done it which sounds crazy long, but after I'd done it for 18 months, suddenly I was like, this is natural now.
Yeah.
Like this is, I could stop remembering what it was like to not wake up early and nicely. Yeah. And in the grand scheme of things, like it's now been 5 years. So whilst it took a while, it took 18 months. It also
to start to feel that,
For what? For like the rest of my life. You know, it's actually not that much time. It's fine.
Yeah, that's very true. Yeah, when you put it in like the larger picture of things, that catalyst at what I think you said you were 27 at the time.
Yeah,
and like you've got so many years left of your life. Yeah, you started there and then. Yeah, that's actually beautiful to think about it.
Like, and it was 18 months of not being hardcore about it. You know, of being able to go out for drinks and being able to let it shift and
still enjoy your life a little bit. Yeah.
But then it meant after only a year and a half, and I would say only, like after only that time, like if I'd known, I would be like, oh, right. Oh, okay. Okay. That sounds like a long time, but actually I was still able
Yeah.
to enjoy my life.
And also think about how much time you then gave yourself back as
Oh,
well,
yeah.
because of having that more time in the mornings and having
Yeah.
more space. I feel like
Yeah.
everyone, the top things that everyone's always asking for is more time,
Yeah.
more freedom,
Yeah.
more flexibility. I feel like that's all that people are asking for.
Yeah.
And I know there's a lot of controversy about this phrase, everyone has the same 24 hours in the day, or
Yeah.
like
Sure.
that sometimes backfires a little bit. But I feel like if you can take control over your mornings in a way that serves you,
Yeah.
then you're ultimately gonna give yourself that time, that freedom that
Yes.
you are hoping for.
Yeah.
Yeah. It takes time. It takes time to give yourself time, I guess.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
it takes time to build a habit, and it's a lifelong habit. But of the habits that you can build for yourself, for instance, I've done other habits, and they come and
Yeah.
go. So
Yeah.
like I have done running, and I have worked out, and yoga for me has been slightly up and down on when I've been practicing, when I've not been practicing. And the one thing I would say is that I really cared about changing my mornings, and I really stuck with that one because I was like, this is one that once it's in, I don't have to think about anymore.
Sure.
I don't think about it anymore. So if you're working out, you pretty much then have to constantly think about, when am I going to work out again, and what's the next thing, and what
also
am I
what the
now working
program
at?
is.
Yeah, like what's the next run, or what's the next? You have to really keep it up.
Yeah.
Whereas once you've switched and you've become a morning person, you just are a morning person. That's it. So you don't have to think anymore. It's not something like it would take. I don't know how long it would take me now to break this habit. Like I would have to put serious effort in to actually go back to how I was.
Yeah.
And that's what that 18 months was. Like after that 18 months, I would be thinking like, I don't know how I'd break this now.
Sure.
Like I'd really, really have to try.
Yeah.
To go back.
And that just shows like the level of commitment that you've poured into this as well.
Yeah. It was an identity change. Yeah.
Nice. No, I love that as well. And I think there's so many people wanting for this kind of identity change and wanting to seize their mornings. So as well as like the morning motivational club and like perhaps joining your morning sessions, what would be the tips that you would offer from like someone like myself starting from like the very, very bottom and trying to build this new habit? What would you say?
Yeah. Okay. So one, reduce whatever you can that's distracting on your phone if it is going to be by your bedside, and if you can, put it out of arm's reach. Same with like, I use a watch instead of a phone as my alarm, so my alarm is separate to that. So
I used to do that as well,
else.
Actually,
it's really helpful. And then have your clothes already ready. A lot of this is pre-planning. Have your clothes already ready. Get a good sleep routine and a good sleeping pattern going. So sleep routine really helpful for that, because you just want good sleep. And then in the summer or when it's light, try and get sunlight on your face immediately.
Sure.
Get up and make your bed, or do a task essentially. So, in terms of the live sessions, that would already count as your task. You've already done one thing for the day. You're already in momentum. And then like, finally, it would really be about knowing, you need to know exactly what you're going to do as soon as you wake up. You're in your most vulnerable state. So what you don't want to be thinking about is decisions. You don't want to be making decisions early on.
Fair.
Yeah, which I think is what you're then saying when you're like, oh, and then I start planning my day. No.
Yeah.
You don't want to do
Plan
that.
it before.
Yeah, that's like the opposite of what you want to be doing. You want to just know what you're doing for this first half hour, first hour, whatever it is. Just do those. And if you can, have already done those like the day before, already kind of vaguely map out the day. But whatever it is, whether it's movement, whether it's journaling, whether it's going out for a walk, just something. It doesn't have to be long, but just something. And then try and make it really repetitive. So it's just the same thing every day. You just don't want decisions. So just the same thing every day. Then your body will get accustomed to it, and it will know that that's what we do. And basically it will feel happy about waking up, because it's like, oh, we wake up at the same time. You're thinking about training a puppy. Like, that is what you have to think of yourself as. Like, you're training a puppy. Same thing day in, day out.
Yeah, nice. And I suppose also I was just thinking as you were talking, like, as maybe as part of like that morning routine, maybe having something that feels exciting about it. Because I feel like,
something that you want to do.
Yeah, when you're planning it like the night before, and I have had a few thoughts and feelings like I feel like the morning, the day almost does start the night before.
Yes, it does. Yes.
Yeah, that kind of like processing. And I love what you're saying about taking the decision element out of your morning.
Yes.
So it's already done. You're not having to think.
Yeah.
But as well as maybe like planning something that's just like something somewhat exciting. And again, it doesn't need to be a real big thing, but I suppose something that's going to offer you that kind of slow dopamine that feels like, again, it's just for you, even if it is, I don't know, morning pages like you do, or I don't know, like something really, really small, a particular morning drink, if there's a particular way in which you like to have your coffee.
Exactly. Like making a coffee for yourself, making a tea for yourself, like something that feels good. Honestly, I would say nothing needs to be too exciting, because it will flip and you will start to enjoy it anyway.
Okay,
like, honestly, you'll just start to enjoy whatever it is. So it just needs to be enjoyable enough for you.
Cute.
But mainly it needs to be simple. It just needs to be really, really simple.
Cute. Keep it simple, and that's always like the way anything works, really. The more simple and the more convenient you can make it for yourself, the more likely that habit is likely to stick.
Big one.
Convenience is always the word. I have a big thing about words anyway, but convenience is another word that stays with me. Anytime I get a new yogi come to class, and they're like, oh yeah, I might try this class, I might try that, and I'm like, yeah, sure, try as many as you like, but just make sure that whatever class you land upon, it is the most convenient for you in terms of location, time, because then you're more likely to stick with it, you know. And I want you to stick with it, not just obviously because you're practicing with me, but for your own benefit as well. I don't want you to pick something that you're going to do for a few weeks and then you're going to fall off the wayside. You want to pick something that's convenient. Beautiful. How stunning. This is so interesting, and again, it's giving me like that little kick up the bum for my mornings, and I'm already feeling like this forward momentum towards 2026 and the new year. So I feel like mornings is going to be something for me in the new year, and
it's the best thing I ever did.
Listening. Yeah, stunning.
And if I could do it, anyone can, because I really wasn't. I was really bad. So
well
you definitely can. Yeah.
Well done. And I'd say you've like created this club out of it, and I think that just shows like a level of passion for it as well, and a level of enthusiasm and the evidence for it. The fact that you have created something out of this lifestyle change, I think that is enough evidence in itself, really, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, yes, I've created the thing that if I could go back, this is what I wanted. This is how I would have done it if it had existed, because like this is what would work. So that's why it exists now. But there was actually just before, like, there was one thing that you said that I was like, this is the next thing that I'm looking into, because basically, you know, again, feminist in me, but most studies, when I was looking into all of this stuff, most of the studies of everything has been done on men, not on women. When we look at cold water therapy and stuff like that, there's a lot of stuff out there at the moment that's like, you should do a cold plunge, you should splash your face, you should get in a cold shower. The studies have not been done on women, they've been done on men, and we react very differently. So that's actually the proof is now showing that women shouldn't be doing that, which is fascinating. But one of the things you said is about cycles. And actually there's so little information out there about how the cycles affect our mornings. And that is something that I haven't looked into, because the studies aren't there yet. So that's something that's like my next thing is also to dive into.
Again, another little experiment that you can
to figure that out, because that's going to differ, you know, depending on everyone. But also, you know, the 5 a.m. club that was invented by a man who his cycles never change. So there is, you know, he can do an hour every single day, but I certainly can't sometimes. Sometimes I don't want to go for the run. You know, that's not going to work for me.
But I feel like I'd be bored at 5 a.m. If I woke up at 5 a.m, I'd be like, what do I do?
It's not, I don't believe it's that good for you, but I have my own.
That's fair enough. We love an early morning, but to a certain point.
I was the person who woke up at 6 a.m. and then did like a full 2-hour routine. You don't need to do that.
Wow. Again, I think you probably go through the stages, right? You probably have like a time where you do go all in. Is that 75 hard? And then you're actually like, this isn't serving in the long run, but I do want to keep like these healthy habits. So again, you're just adjusting. It's learning all the while.
Yes.
And I think, what you've established, the Morning Motivational Club, it just provides that framework, provides that system for people to start making those healthy changes.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Very much so. Yeah.
How exciting. So how do people find you? How can they join? What's the sitch? Tell me all about it.
So it's just via the website. They join by the website, and I mean, this will be in January. So, right? Well, yeah.
Yeah, it's going to go out in January.
So January, we will have a free trial, a 1 week free trial in January, only for the month of January. So after that, it would just be signing up. It's £15 a month, or it's an annual price of £150. So you save 2 months for free. But it runs every weekday at 7 a.m. Although we will add more sessions in as well of different times. It's just because it's only me right now, so we're just running it as just 7 a.m.s. But eventually there will be many more times than that as well.
Beautiful.
And yeah, so you'd simply sign up via the website. In January, we'll be doing it every single day. Usually it's every weekday, but just for January, we're doing it Saturday and Sunday as well. Although when this comes out, we'll know whether that's going to be at 7 or 8 a.m. on the weekends. I think it's going to be 8 a.m. because I think I need to not burn out.
Sure. Yeah, burning out
Usually
is a
the
real
weekends
thing.
are like my recharge time where I get my morning entirely to myself.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
But we'll see. So it's just via the website, and it's just a 3-month commitment period, so that you can try and create the habit, and then after that it's rolling.
Nice.
But it's
How exciting. Yeah, I'm thrilled about it, and it's been lovely to hear all about the Morning Motivation Club, and it's obviously lovely to chat to you as well.
Yeah, well, it's lovely to chat to you. We need to get you to become a morning person, and then we'll get you running some sessions.
Oh my God, fun. I would absolutely love to. No, it's so fun. Yeah, okay, cool. No, I will take that. I will literally give me a challenge. I'll roll with it, because I have found, like, with my own online platform as well, like I've started an ATM live practice, and I love that, because again, like there's so many gorgeous sunrises I've seen as a result of being up early, and I do love it. So yeah, I'd happily run some sessions for you, girlie. Cute.
There you go. Yeah. It needs to become that morning person first.
So morning person 2026, we're locked in.
Perfect.
How fabulous. Oh, well, thank you so much, honey. Delightful to chat to you. I'm going to put all the details, the website, in the episode description. So you listeners, if you want to go hang out with Roselle at 7 a.m. each weekday, maybe even a weekend morning, then you know where to go. Let's change that language. Let's set some healthy habits, and let's change our mornings, change our life.
Yay, love that. I mean, that sounds like, but yeah, sounds great.
Beautiful. Oh, stunning. Well, thank you so much, honey. Have a gorgeous rest of your week. And
thank you so much for having me.
I'll speak to you soon. No worries. Bye, darling. Oh my goodness, honeys. What a gorgeous, wholesome conversation that was. I hope you enjoyed hearing from Roselle, and maybe this has given you a little sprinkling of inspiration of how you can utilize your mornings and, again, start your day in this present, mindful way. Like I said at the beginning, I have been a member of the Morning Motivation Club for over a week now, and I know it's very, very much early days, but I'm already feeling the effects. And you know what? I'm looking forward to logging into Zoom each morning, 7 a.m., seeing Roselle, listening to some gorgeous affirmations, some lovely gentle movement, and it's having such a lovely ripple effect into the rest of my day. Okay, so if, like me, you are wanting to change your mornings a little bit, you're wanting to give yourself the gift of time, but you feel like you need a little bit of help, then the Morning Motivation Club is where it's at. This is a club that I will happily throw myself into, okay? So come join us in the club. Head to www.morningmotivationclub.com, or of course head to the Instagram, which is at morningmotivation.club. And if you use the code butterfly effect, you'll get 30% off your first 3 months. That's butterfly effect for 30% off your first 3 months. So what are we waiting for, lovers? Maybe I will see you at 7 a.m. and she also is adding in more times. There will be a 6:30 a.m. and I believe there's even going to be a 6 a.m. So if you can't quite make 7, there's other options for you. All right, honeys, thank you so much for listening as always. And yeah, let's start our day feeling grounded, feeling inspired, feeling motivated, and slowly see that delightful ripple effect outwards. All right, start soft, not strong, honeys. And of course, I'll see you in the next episode. All right, lots of love. Mwah! right, Stunners, thank you so much for listening to another episode of the Butterfly Effect podcast. I hope it has left you feeling suitably inspired. And as always, please don't forget to rate and review, like and subscribe, all those lovely things, as not only does this help the podcast grow, but it also helps us to reach more beautiful souls who need to hear these conversations. And of course, come hang out with me over on Instagram and TikTok at LaurenAmyYD, and follow the pod at butterflyeffect.pod. You can also dive deeper into yoga, meditations, poetry, and so much more with me over on Patreon. Until next time, keep living a soft life loudly because you know you deserve it, and I'll see you in the next episode. Mwah!